Hi, I'm Lisa from Craft Your Practice, and we're at episode 18, What Makes a Therapist Referable? Referrals are the most durable client source a private practice has. They cost nothing to generate once the infrastructure is in place. So they arrive pre-qualified because someone who knows your work vouched for you, and they convert at a significantly higher rate than cold traffic from a directory. So if you are serious about building a practice that holds up over time, referrals are where you want to put your real energy. The problem is that most therapists think about referrals the wrong way. They think referrals come from being good at your job. And while being good at your job is obviously required, there are a lot of good therapists who are not being referred to, and there are therapists receiving more referrals than they can handle, who are not necessarily better clinicians. They are just more referable. So referability is a specific thing. And today I want to define it clearly, break down what it actually takes to build it, and give you a practical framework for getting there. So part one, what referability actually is. You are referable when someone who knows you can answer 3 questions without hesitation. Who do you work with? What problems do you help them solve? And why would I trust you with this specific person? So if a colleague, a primary care physician, a school counselor, or a former client can't answer all 3 of those questions about you in about 30 seconds, you're not fully referable yet. So that is not a judgment. It's a diagnostic, and it's fixable. And let me break down why those 3 questions are the right ones. Referral sources are not databases. They do not scroll through a mental list every therapist they know and evaluate candidates systematically. They work from association. So someone in their orbit has a problem and they immediately think of someone specific. Your job is to be that specific person when the relevant problem comes up. For that to happen, you need to be describable in a way that means and maps cleanly onto problems. So she's great, does not create that map. She works with adults who are dealing with grief after loss, especially complicated grief after a relationship rupture, not just death, creates that map. The more precisely your referral sources can describe you and what you do, the more reliably they will think of you at the right moment. So referability is not about being well liked, it's about being well placed in someone's mental file for a very specific situation. So part 2, the 3 referability questions in depth. Who do you work with? This is your population, your niche, your stated focus. It does not have to be one sentence, but it has to be specific enough that someone can picture the person they are referring you. Adults dealing with anxiety and relationship patterns. It's specific enough. Anyone who is struggling is not. The more clearly a referral source can picture your ideal client, the more reliably they will refer the right people and hold back the wrong ones. So when someone is specific about who you work with, they do you 2 favors simultaneously. They send you clients who are a good fit, and they do not send you clients who are not. So both of those favors are valuable. And what problems do you help them solve? This is where many therapists get vague because they have been trained to avoid outcome promises, and that caution is appropriate. We do not guarantee results. But referral sources are not asking for a guarantee. They are asking for a frame. They want to be able to say to a patient or a client or a friend, I think you should call someone who works with people who are dealing with X. Helping people understand the relational patterns that keep showing up across their relationships is a frame. Healing and growth is not. Be specific about the problem without overpromising the solution. One way to test this, can your referral source say your name in a sentence that ends with a specific problem? If they can, you are framed correctly. If the sentence would have to end with something vague like all kinds of things, you need more specificity. So, why would I trust you with this specific person? This is the relationship piece, and it's one that can't be shortcutted. Referral sources refer to people that they have a felt sense of trust with. So that trust comes from one of two places, direct relationship or reputation. So direct relationship means that they know you, they have met you, had a real conversation with you, interacted with you in some professional context that gave them a sense of who you are, and they have experienced your follow through when they referred someone to you previously. So they have encountered your thinking through your writing, your talks, your presence in a professional community. Reputation means that they have heard enough from enough people who do know you that you have become a known quantity in their network. So someone that they respect vouched for you. And that vouching had enough weight to create trust without direct contact. Both of these are buildable. Neither of them is accidental, and both of them require time, which is exactly why you should start building now before you feel like you need the referrals. Part 3, building referability in practice. So let me walk you through what building referability actually looks like on the ground. Start with your existing network. The easiest referral relationships to activate are the ones that you already have, but have not cultivated professionally. Former supervisors, classmates from graduate school, colleagues from previous jobs, people who already know your work and think well of you. So reach out, not to ask for referrals. That is backwards. To reconnect, to share what you are building, and to ask what they are seeing in their own work, to find out who they are struggling to refer out to, and relationship before referral. The referral follows naturally from a relationship that is genuinely warm. Expand intentionally to non-therapy referral sources. The most underused referral relationships therapists have are with professionals who serve the same populations. The most underused referral relationships that therapists have are with professionals who serve the same populations that they do, but are not therapists themselves. So, depending on your niche, this could be primary care providers, pediatricians, OBGYNs, school counselors, attorneys, financial advisors, physical therapists, or any number of other providers. One conversation with the right primary care practice can actually generate referrals for years. So, one relationship with a family law attorney who sees clients in the middle of difficult divorces can also keep a couples therapist's caseload consistently full. So, these relationships take the same amount of cultivation as peer to peer referral relationships, and they often produce more volume because the professional is not competing with you. They have clients who genuinely need what you offer. So tend the relationships that you already have. This is the piece most therapists skip. When someone refers a client to you, close the loop, a brief non-clinical message, not disclosing anything about the client's situation, just acknowledging that the referral came to you and that you're thanking them for thinking of you. That does more for the relationship than almost anything. So people refer again to therapists who make them feel like the referral was received well, and people stop referring to therapists who seem like referrals disappear into a black hole. So a closing message takes 2 minutes. Don't skip it. Part 4, the long game. Referrals build differently than directory traffic. Directory traffic can spike and drop based on factors outside of your control. Algorithm changes, competition in your area, the number of people searching for therapists in a given season. Referral traffic tends to grow slowly and then compound. So each relationship that you build leads to introductions to other professionals. Each client that you serve well either refers someone themselves or tells their primary care doctor that they had a good experience with you. The network builds on itself. This means that the time to build your referral network is before you feel the urgency. Therapists who start building referral relationships when their caseload is already full have a much easier time than therapists who start when they're panicked about filling it. Not because the relationship building is easier when you're busy, it isn't, but because you have more room to build relationships the right way, slowly, genuinely, and without the desperation that referral sources can feel. So build the network before you need it, tend it consistently, and let it compound. Referability is not a personality trait. It is not something that you either have or don't. It's a practice, something you build deliberately over time through specificity about your work and through genuine professional relationships and through the habit of closing the loop. So the 3 questions are your benchmarks. Who do you work with? What problems do you help them with or help them solve? And why should I trust you with this person? When the people in your orbit can answer all 3 without hesitating, you are referable. If you're building the foundational layer of your practice and want a structured framework for working through referrals, your niche, and the other decisions that shape the first 90 days of private practice, that's inside my course, the Launch Lab, and the link is in the description. And next week, we are talking about your therapy bio, specifically why most therapist bios are written for the wrong purpose and how to write one that actually sounds like you and does the job it needs to. So subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you next week.